This is so cool. Palm trees. There is a symbolism concerning palm trees. Can I just say, land flowing with milk and honey, the prosperity, the beauty of a palm tree. Did you know, and this is one last thing, real quick, hope you don't mind, but you know when there's a hurricane, you see those palm trees, and you think, man, that palm tree ain't going to make it. I mean, it's like this. It's bent over, 150,000 miles per hour winds. That thing is, but it won't break. Why? Because the root system is so strong and so deep. And that's a picture of our life in Christ when we're strong spiritually beneath the surface. You don't see it outwardly, but beneath the surface, that root system is so deep and so strong. When the storms of life hit, no to take when you're in a storm. You're about, oh God! You know, that's a very good posture. Rightfully so. Okay, that's my palm tree. I think I'm out of them. You'll be encouraged now. Verse 17, then he brought me into the outer court, and there were chambers and a pavement. Don't think asphalt, please. I'm sorry about that word. New King James. Pavement made all around the court. 30 chambers. 30 chambers faced the pavement. The pavement was by the side of the gateways, corresponding to the length of the gateways. This was the lower pavement. But wait, there's more than a lower pavement? Then he measured, verse 19, the width from the front of the lower gateway to the front of the inner court exterior, 100 cubits, toward the east and the north. On the outer court, verse 20, was also a gateway facing north, and he measured its length and its width. Its gate chambers, verse 21, 3 on this side, 3 on that side. Its balance, it's proportionate, and its archways have the same measurements as the first gate. Its length was 50 cubits and its width 25 cubits. Its windows and those of its archways, and also its palm trees. You said you were going to let me have it. More palm trees. Have the same measurements as the gateway facing east. It was, and here it is again, ascended by 7 steps. 7, the number of completion. So picture this. This is a literal temple in the millennium, and you're going to ascend, go up, be lifted up 7 steps. For those of you that went to Israel with us, the southern steps measured, believed to be by many the actual steps that Jesus would have walked on to enter into the temple. So you walk up. You're ascending up. You know the Psalms of Ascents, when we were going through the Psalms, they would sing those songs as they would ascend those steps. That's why they're called Psalms of Ascent. You're ascending, not descending. You're ascending. And its archway was in front of it. A gate, verse 23, of the inner court was opposite the northern gateway, just as the eastern gateway, and he measured from the gateway to gateway 100 cubits. After that, he brought me toward the south, and there a gateway was facing south, and he measured its gate posts and archways according to these same measurements. Again, I'm just picturing Ezekiel because this really happened. He really time traveled into the millennium, and he's getting a tour by this angel of this temple with all of its measurements. So verse 27, there was also a gateway on the inner court facing south, and he measured from gateway to gateway toward the south 100 cubits. Then he brought me, we got to keep moving now, to the inner court through the southern gateway. He measured the southern gateway according to these same measurements. Also, its gate chambers, its gate posts, and its archways were according to these same measurements. There were windows in it, and in its archways all around. Wow, that seems beautiful. It was 50 cubits long and 25 cubits wide. Verse 30. There were archways all around, 25 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. Its archways faced the outer court. There's my palm trees again. Were on its gate posts, and here it is again. Going up to it were 8 steps. Aha! 7, the number of completion. 8, the number of new beginnings. The God we serve is the God of new beginnings. The 8th day starts the new week. The 8th note on the musical scale starts anew. The 8th is the new beginnings, and you go up these 8 steps. And he brought me into the inner court facing east. He measured the gateway according to these same measurements. Also, by the way, how many times, if you want, you can count this. We're going to see it again and again. Same measurements. What's your point, Pastor? God is the same God yesterday, today, and forever. He never changes. He's the same God yesterday, today, and forever. The same measurements. And its archways were according to these same measurements. And there were windows in it, and its archways all around. It was 50 cubits long and 25 cubits wide. That's big. Its archways faced the outer court, and here's my palm trees again, were on its gate posts on this side and on that side. And going up to it were 8 steps. Then he brought me to the north gateway and measured it according to these same measurements. Also its gate chambers, its gate posts, and its archways. It had windows all around. Its length was 50 cubits, and its width 25 cubits. Its gate posts faced the outer court. Palm trees were on its gate posts, and this side and on that side, and going up to it were 8 steps.